Hi guys, today I was going through the Bible in the story of Ruth, and I was really fascinated by the character of Mordecai because Mordecai depicts a very different picture from what from his actions and from most of us today in life, including myself. Remember, I don't know how many of you are familiar with that story of Mordecai. This one time, he used to sit at the gates of the palace. And one time he overheard people planning to assassinate the king. And because Mordecai was the uncle of Queen Esther, he passed on a message to Queen Esther to let the Esther know that they are planning to assassinate the king. Actually, it was two eunuchs that were talking about how to assassinate King Xerxes. And he sent for the message, and Esther was told, and Esther notified the king about the assassination. And the two people that were talking about his assassination, the eunuchs, they were killed, they were punished. But they did nothing for Mordecai. That's not even where the story is, them not doing anything. The story is in Mordecai not even bothering about it. Of course, he knows that the king was not assassinated. He knows that the report got to the king and the people concerned were punished. But Mordecai never wanted anything, never asked for anything. Mordecai continued sitting at the gate and doing what he was doing, interceding for the children of Israel. When I speak about that story of Mordecai, I remember myself that many are the times when I do something good, I expect God to reward me. You know, I expect some reward, not even necessarily from God, but even from men. Where when you do something good, especially that was a big deal. The king being killed, that is a big thing. For me, I would have expected the king to reward me, either by gold, silver, or something else, or even maybe even get a job in the palace, get a job in the kingdom, just being given something. But Mordecai wanted nothing. It's like he went on with life like that was a normal thing, and he never asked for anything. But then God was planning things behind the scenes. God was waiting for that appointed time for Mordecai to be rewarded. Because when you continue reading the story of Mordecai, you will see that one day the king could not sleep. And because he could not sleep, he asked for his book, the archives. And the person who was supposed to read the book started by the story of Mordecai. And that's when the king asks, what was done to Mordecai? Do you see that it is normal to reward something or someone when they do something good? Because even the king is asking what was done to Mordecai. Because the king expects something was done to Mordecai, but really nothing happened. But Mordecai never had an issue with that. He never bothered himself about what he did. But you see now that now the time has come and God has made the king not to sleep, he actually has pressed a command on his heart to ask for the archives book, and Mordecai stories comes up, and Mordecai finally is rewarded. And his reward is really great. From sitting at the gate to being given a high position in the kingdom, that was a big thing. When I remember and when I actually read about this story, it reminds me of how badly I look forward to the reward, how I just want to be rewarded, and when I want to be rewarded. But I want to tell you something out there. Maybe you have done something good and no one rewarded you, no one thought about it. It never came back to you as if you did something. But there's a God in heaven who saw what you did, who heard what you did, and he's planning for your rewards. And when the time is right, you will be rewarded. I have encouraged myself that when the time is right, that God, in his sovereignty, he's going to reward me. And I know he's going to do it. All I need to do is be patient and wait for God's timing and not nag God and keep on asking and keep on reminding God and keep on talking about how good I've done. No, I admire the character of Mordecai. And honestly speaking, I would want to have that character in me. I would want to be like Mordecai. I would want to do things and just move on with life as if it was a normal thing. I don't know how many people out there relate with what I'm talking about. And I also want to challenge you to read the story of Mordecai and see how he moves on with life as if nothing really major happened. But it was really major. I mean, it was king's life that was at stake. But because of Mordecai, the king was never killed. And God rewarded Mordecai eventually. I, together with you out there, are waiting for the right time for God to reward us. And as we wait, let us go about doing good. Let us go about our days as normal. Let us not think about it or fuss about it. Because already God heard and God saw. And He is working out the reward. And one day, when you're not expecting, like Mordecai was not expecting, he was called and he was rewarded. And he was paraded in front of everyone. I mean, it's a big thing when it's the right time for God to reward you. I'm encouraging someone. I am also encouraging myself. Let us be patient to wait for God's timing. He does not forget the good work that we have done. I think it is in the book of Hebrews 6:10 that talks about that God does not forget about the good things that we have done for his children. So let us be patient and wait. He remembers. I wanted to share this story because it has been in my mind, and to me it has impacted me in a very big way, honestly speaking. It has impacted my life not to really wait for the reward. And I hope it does the same for you. Read the story of the book of Ruth. It's a very, very encouraging story, and you will see even other characters that come up in that book. I hope this encourages someone and it actually convicts your heart to just wait for God's reward and not fuss about it. Thank you so much for watching this video. God bless you, and see you on my next.